Hello, everyone. Welcome. This is going to be our last presentation. The topic on hand is going to be construction safety management. Let's get started. So, what are the elements of a safety program? So, some elements are assignment of responsibility, hazard identification and control, training and communication, documentation and enforcement of safety rules. So, assignment of responsibility is essentially who is in charge of safety. Do we have a safety representative? What's the contractor's responsibility? What about the subcontractors? So basically, who's going to be in control of safety on this project? The hazard identification control. We discussed this in our previous class, so we have to identify the hazards and we have to set some efforts in controlling them. So some of them we had the administrative controls, we had the last resort of controls of PPE. The first level of control was designing for construction safety. So that's gonna incorporate all that. So training and communication is needs to be available to the laborers, to the staff, for everyone to have access to that. And documentation and enforcement of safety rules is the safety plan, the safety program that has been put into place. Is it being handled and enforced correctly? So continuing on with the safety program, we have the maintenance of safe working conditions, setting performance goals, rewarding the safety performance, and reviewing circumstances involved in incidents. So taking appropriate correction actions. So just want to touch on taking appropriate corrective action. So again, I keep reiterating this. If you see something wrong on the site, you shouldn't be afraid to speak out, whether you're the field engineer working for quality control or the contractor or whomever. If you're a laborer out in the field, you should have the right protocols in place for you to reach out to the safety rep, let them know what's going on, let the project manager know what's going on. So you have to come into grips and understand this, because a lot of times people notice things happening, unsafe practices, and they keep it to themselves. So you want to take appropriate action, and that's the first step. And then you want to go ahead and how do you correct this issue? How do you correct this safety issue? So continuing with the safety program, establishing safety performance objectives for all levels of management, and including safety as part of the management performance reviews. So when there's not when those there we know our quality audits. The quality audits, they check at the performance, the quality levels, but there's also some safety um, checks that need to be made or are being enforced. So that also gets reviews and measuring effectiveness. So is the safety program that was put in place, is it actually um, reducing injuries? Has there been less injuries on this project compared to similar projects? Can we do some type of analysis in regards to that? So you want the program, you want to be able to say that our program that was implemented on this project, was able to protect our workers in all various different types of operations on this project. So some of the benefits of the safety program. So reduced workers' compensation claims. We have reduced expenses related to all injuries and illnesses, and reduced absenteeism. So people coming to work, right? They're not injured. They're able to come in. Lower employee complaints. Continuing, so we have improved employee morale and satisfaction. They feel very good about being on a project that's very keen on safety protocols, and there's a program in place, and they feel easy going to work and being a part of that team. Increase productivity, reduction of hidden cost, and reduced insurance costs. So we all know, well, we haven't discussed in this class, but there is an EMR, the modification rate that's established for your insurance provider. The way your insurance does your rating is they look at how many injuries you had on your previous projects, and that's the rate that they're going to give you on your current projects. And sometimes you have to meet, not sometimes, but on most projects, you have to meet a certain value. So I believe it's one. You have to be at one to be average. So I believe, I'm not too sure if you're above or below. Owners and clients are not going to be willing to work with you because they're going to notice that, oh, you've had too many injuries on your project and you might even be disqualified. Some RFPs have even said that we want to see your log and your number, because insurance is going to be skyrocket, and that just already says something's going wrong with your team. So, what are some consequences of establishing a safety program? So, workers' compensation cost, replacement and training cost for new or substitute employee. You have poor quality or penalties for non-compliance. Establishing project-specific activities. So develop goals and objectives. You define the project team. That's the first thing. So we have project manager, site supervisor, site safety, and other programs. Roles and responsibilities. Supervisors and management, they establish safe work practices. They enforce those safety rules and regulations, and they train employees on how to avoid those hazards. Enforce reporting work-related injuries, illnesses, and near misses. Investigate causes of incidents or near misses and take the appropriate action to prevent recurrence. Ensure prompt medical attention. So this is the responsibilities of the supervisors and the management. They're not supposed to be, when you bring something up, they're not supposed to say, oh, this again, we'll just rather just, get rid of this guy, or why did this even person tell me about this? Sometimes on projects, the safety representative, not on most projects, I should say, is hired by the contractor. So the contractor pays the safety rep. So if the safety rep keeps coming, with, oh, we have an issue there, an issue here, and an issue there, and that will cause the contractor to, spend more money maybe for better protective systems, or it's just going to give them more things to do on this project now. Before we mentioned the parameters, we have cost, we have quality, and then we have the schedule and the time of a project. Safety has never been one of those issues where the project manager is it's on his mind, it's on his to-do, and it's something that he or she likes to keep hearing about. But a good project manager, good general contractor, that's becoming the fourth parameter on a project. So that's something that they want to look into. They want to see the updates. They want to see what's going on. If they see 2 3 instances when something's getting in somebody's eye, they're gonna want to make sure. Hey, does our program does it say we need to have safety eye protection gear on this project? If not, let's update that safety program. Let's update that safety plan, and let's redistribute it and supply this PPE, appropriate PPE. Oh, and just want to touch on this one. Ensure prompt medical attention. If somebody is injured on a project, the laborer should not have the mentality to say, you know what, I'm injured. I'm not going to say anything about it. I'm just going to continue on working. No, if you have a severe injury, you want the project manager to direct that employee. This is our closest hospital to where we're working at. Our safety program calls, if anyone has an injury, severe injury, that they have to go to this hospital or they have to go to the closest urgent care. They have to get documentation saying that they are good to go and continue on working. Without that, we will not have you on this site if you're injured, because we don't want you to get even uh, worse with your injury. So the safety professional, they develop and they implement an accident prevention program. They advise management on company policies and governmental regulations. They evaluate the effectiveness of existing safety programs and they train management in safety observation techniques. So they're kind of the guru there, right? So they're advising. They're like a consultant to the contractor. They're basically saying, watch out for this, watch out for that. We got to implement this new OSHA law that came out. So we definitely got to be on the lookout for this. And they do have to provide. They have to train the management as well in safety observation techniques. So what to look out for. So why do we have a plan? So designed to protect. It's designed to protect the personnel that's working, the environment, the public, and the operation and the equipment. So it's basically taking care of all aspects regarding the project. Continuing with why have a plan, government regulations. So you got to meet OSHA standards. That's the bare minimum. The EPA and state local laws, public-private requirements as well. The typical programs for record keeping. So we have the OSHA 300 log and the supplemental forms. We did discuss the 300 log, and then that goes along with it, the OSHA 301 accident investigations. Basically, that's just the 301 is basically saying this is what the incident happened, this is when it occurred, how it occurred, and then that information gets put into the log. So workers' compensation cases, if there are any, and will be kept on file, on record, and employees' medical history as well. Continuing with the program, typical programs of so we have the proper PPE, the proper use of PPE, the employee training, the enforcement, unknown hazards, hazardous waste operation, and emergency response. So hazardous communication program, written program development and implementation, chemical inventory, communicates safe work methods for jobs-specific activities, non-routine tasks, labeling requirements, MSDS sheets, and employee training contractors. Machine guarding is going to be a part of this program. Make sure that machine guarding is placed and tested for proper function when removed for maintenance, and review electrical and mechanical interlocks to see if they work properly. So this last presentation is like almost like a summary. A lot of it is stuff that we've already learned, so it's just kind of a refresher again, because this is kind of the core of the safety management. So very, very important